to the magic and beyond.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of To the Magic and Beyond. My name is Jordan, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Michelle.
Hello.
And we've got producer Courtney and producer Logan.
Hey,
Say
guys.
hi.
Where are we? What are we doing here?
If you're watching,
I mean, hello.
Yeah.
What is this new planet?
What is going on? If you watch us on YouTube, you may notice that we have transported to
a new planet.
a new place. We're calling it Studio 2. Maybe we can do a poll to get like studio names going on. But just due to schedules and crazy things like that, we have established a second studio whenever we need to over at Michelle's house.
Hey.
So.
Welcome.
So they made this very cute little display, and we got some
Yeah.
cute little mics and some chairs going on. So
See all the Disney merch.
pretty fancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some of the Disney merch.
Yeah, it is just some.
Not all
There's
of the
still
Disney
some at
merch.
Studio One too.
This is the stash of studio of Disney merch.
It usually comes from here and is
Yeah.
transported.
Yes. But we're excited to be here and just recording in a new place, but same us. Just different backdrop.
That's it. We're just missing Denver Doodle.
I know. He's going to be sad he missed out, but
Yeah.
maybe.
We could bring in 3 others, but they're not near as good as Denver Doodle.
We'll do an episode where all 4 dogs are in here, and then we just see what happens.
We'll do that when we're ready to retire.
Yeah.
That'll
We
be
need to get
the
our
Last
ratings
episode
up.
ever.
We'll either get them up or get them down.
We can do it during Puppy Bowl season and
There you go.
bring a little football in and see how
That's
they
it.
do.
That's it. Everything will be destroyed.
Yeah.
There'll be no cameras.
It'll be cool. Good last hurrah.
Yeah. Got to go out some way.
But I guess for now we'll just stick to what we're used to,
Yeah.
what we're good at.
Exactly.
Talking about Disney.
That's it.
I feel like an opportunity would be missed if we didn't segue with everything being destroyed into the topic for today.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
This is
point.
true.
If we got
Yes.
4 dogs in here and everything was destroyed,
It would
would-
look like
A
a hurricane. Good job, producer.
Guess what we're
Logan.
going to talk about?
If you pay any attention to the news, or even if you're kind of an East Coaster right now, you probably for the last couple of months have been
Yeah.
keeping an eye on the news and the weather specifically, because we are smack dab in the middle of hurricane season.
And I would say that most of the time, people don't really think much about it. I
Right.
think they book their trips.
Well,
I
yeah.
think,
If you don't live there, why would, like, it's not something you're going to think about, because if you live in the Midwest,
You don't
you're
have hurricanes.
literally not worrying about a hurricane.
tornado
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Right. Tornado
Yeah.
season, maybe. Snow, also a thing.
Yeah.
But hurricanes, you're not
No.
thinking about it. You're not thinking there's a whole season for this.
No.
What is going on? But it is a very real thing that you need to consider when planning a trip to Disney, specifically in the fall. Technically speaking, hurricane season starts on June 1st and runs all the way through November 30th. You are usually not going to see many hurricanes in June or all the way through November 30th.
Right.
But it can technically happen. So it's an extensive time period where a hurricane could come in and ruin all of your fun Disney plans.
And I would say over the course of the past 10, 12 years, I think most of the really bad threat for hurricanes have been September, October.
Yeah.
Whether it's
yeah.
Gulf or Atlantic.
Yeah.
Because both hit.
Yeah.
But
Typically speaking, I think if Orlando gets hit by one, it's usually coming from the Gulf, but obviously one from the Atlantic could definitely, you could get
Yep.
hit from either side. And I think the Atlantic is usually more active on the front half of hurricane season, and then
Yeah.
the Gulf becomes more active right around October, just in time for if you are lucky enough to live in a state that has a fall break. I did not live in a state that had a fall break. I mean,
Oh.
we lived in Florida, but
Yeah.
I feel like fall breaks didn't happen until recently.
Yeah, I don't think it was a state thing. I think it's a time period.
Yeah,
thing.
because you didn't have
Yeah. I
one
don't
either in
remember having fall
Tennessee,
breaks
right?
either.
Yeah.
yeah, I never had
So-
we didn't have breaks.
All you lucky
We didn't have
ducky
spring
kids.
break.
Yeah.
If you're
We
young
had spring
enough
break, but
to have fall break.
Yeah. So all
Yeah.
you lucky duckies that get a fall break, it's a very, at least here in Tennessee, it is Disney and the beaches become a very popular fall break destination. But that's right in that sweet spot of October is when those hurricanes come on in and can ruin everything. And so we kind of just wanted to talk to you guys about that because it's very important when planning a trip. And also last year, Michelle ended up being there right in the middle of a hurricane.
And the crazy thing about last year was we went together in September.
Like 2 weeks before you
and
went
there
back.
was a hurricane out as well.
Yes.
And it turned into a tropical storm, which fizzled out.
But we had to keep an eye on it
But we
for
kept
our
an eye
trip.
on it, and we just kept on thinking.
It was,
and then,
it was actually Helene, I think.
Yeah.
That came in and damaged the Carolinas.
Yeah.
But ended up steering clear of Orlando. So we were still able to go on our trip, but obviously damage elsewhere, which just goes to show you never know what's going to happen with Mother Nature.
Exactly. And I can remember, goodness, this has been maybe 2018. Producer Courtney, was that it? I think it was.
Yeah, it was 2018.
Yeah, 2018. We had a trip booked to the Gulf during fall break. We were going to go to the beach, girls trip, and there was a hurricane, and that was October.
Yeah.
And it was coming in from the Gulf, and so it was hitting the Panhandle. It was hitting Panama City because we were going to Panama City.
Yeah.
And so we ended up. I was like, I mean, we could still go there, but that's going to be bad. And so I diverted, and we went and stayed. We went to Disney World, where a lot of people were evacuating because it is a big place where people evacuate to that live in Florida because they know that it's safe, not necessarily because they want to go to the park,
Right.
But if they're an annual pass holder, it works out.
Yeah.
But so we divert, and then my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they went on and went to Panama City because they were going in front of us. I think we were leaving, like flying out like on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they had left on like Saturday. And so they actually had to be evacuated and drive all night to get to Disney.
Get to Orlando.
And I had helped them book like a partner hotel.
Yeah.
It used to be it's something else now, but I think it's the B Resort or something. It used to be a Best Western.
Gotcha.
And now it's something, the Best Western, Lake Buena Vista over by Disney Springs. And now it's something else.
Yeah.
But they stayed there. I mean, it was a good experience. And they got, decent rates and that kind of thing. But so we diverted then, and then we went last September, went ahead and went, didn't even have rain. I don't even remember it raining.
I think it had come through we basically like flew over it into safety.
Yeah,
for
once
our
we
September
once
trip.
we got on the plane, we were like, I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're on
we
the
were
plane.
a little nervous that we just needed to get out of Tennessee.
Gotta get there.
The rain from it was hitting the day we flew out. But
And then in October, we drove.
Yeah.
So there's a hurricane. There might be a hurricane. There might be a hurricane. It'll be fine. They say that all the time. Every time they say it's a hurricane.
Yeah.
So we drove down on a Friday night, part way, got there on Saturday, had a good day Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, it was like it was midweek
So then by
right?
Tuesday, you knew
Yeah.
it was going to hit. And it actually was the first Category 3 that hit Orlando in like 100 years or something. It's crazy. Or maybe it might have been, they said it could be a 3, and then it ended up, I think
it
hitting
ended
as a
up
2.
as a 2, yeah. But they
were
worried.
like, even a 2 doesn't hit Orlando.
Yeah, not often.
Usually a 1 or a tropical. By the time it hits Orlando, it's a tropical storm. No, we got hurricane.
Yeah.
But it was okay. But like we missed out on some stuff. But Saturday and Sunday it was rain. We had all that rain coming in. So if they say it might happen, you should listen. And as long as you're good with whatever happens, you may have to stay longer. We did not, because we stayed. I already was staying as long as I was going to anyway. And then, but you may have to extend. And Disney, they were doing that for a lot of people.
Yeah, because I think the group you went with, they were supposed to leave a day earlier than y'all, and then they ended up extending one day because of the storm.
And Disney even drastically reduced the rate for them to stay because they had a suite.
Yeah.
They had a family suite.
They want... Disney is probably one of the best places you could be during a hurricane because they're going to take very good care of you. And also, like, unlike some other situations where hotels might jack their prices up if it's a holiday, you know, like
Yeah.
they take advantage of those things. They're going to take care of you. Like
Yeah.
they know you're stuck. It's not ideal. They're not going to charge you an arm and a leg if you have to stay an extra night or two.
Right.
But they
And-
do block it off to like, so me as a travel agent, it wouldn't let me book
it
a
for us.
room.
No, for them.
because
They had to
are
go do it.
Very
Yeah.
strategically making sure that on-site guests are getting
Yeah.
the rooms. So
and you know, just kind of walking through what that looks like, you know, park wise. So they know it's usually they can pinpoint it. So
Yeah.
there was a plan in place. So Wednesday's park day, what it was supposed to be, ended up we did not do that plan. Like we were originally going to go to we weren't going to go to Magic Kingdom that day because you didn't want to use a ticket because the park was being closed early,
right,
very early. Like I think it closed at 2 or 3
yeah, to prep for the
to prep because they have to lock. They have to take
Yeah.
anything that they can't batten down. They have to actually remove because it becomes projectile.
yeah.
So they
Fun
already
times.
knew that. Yeah, sometimes. So we had a breakfast over at Polly Ohana. And so we did that, and then I was like, guys, we've got to go to guest services because regardless, you're going to have days that you've not used because you know they're date-based tickets now.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do that for us as a travel agent. You have to do that yourself. So we took the monorail over. The rain was hitting pretty good on and off, but we went to guest services, and they again look they just if you're nice.
Yeah.
If you're
Key is
nice and you're not yelling at people, like you're going to walk away with more than you probably wanted,
Yeah.
or at least what you wanted.
Right.
Right. Or close to it. And we walked away with more because we ended up getting comped to go in and enjoy the Magic Kingdom for the hours
Just
that it
for a
was
few
open
hours, yeah.
and not use one of our tickets. And then came home.
Which is super nice.
Yeah. I had like 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
Because we were staying an extra day. So they had
Mm-hmm.
one, we had 2 days that were good, and they extended the date for a
Yeah.
whole year.
Yep.
And so we went in, even though it was raining, I would say 90% of the park was open while we were there. A lot of staff, they'd already told them. I mean, they were running short.
Yeah.
So maybe some restaurants weren't open and stuff like that, snack carts and things like that.
Limited
Yeah. I mean,
availability for things.
but everything else, I mean, characters were still there. I think we walked on Seven Dwarfs Mine
Oh,
Train.
wow.
Because there's no lightning lane
Yeah.
that day. Like you were just
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And just doing your thing. Or maybe we did have lightning. They refunded it. That's what they
Yes.
did because
Yep. Mm-hmm.
they were not operating it. So they refunded the lightning lane and everything like that. And so we ended up doing a ton from like, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock
Yeah.
until it closed at like 2 or 3. And then you went back. So then you have to get back. And then we went to the food court.
Mm-hmm.
And they had little snacks and everything. You could get those. Not free, folks. It's not free.
Yeah.
And then they had like some sandwiches, like
Yeah, they had-
Uncrustables and things.
They had like,
in, a box.
pre-packaged meals that you could buy ahead of time and take back to your room for the next day. Because essentially what they did was they gave y'all a curfew
Yes.
where from these hours you have to stay in your room.
Yep.
For safety reasons.
Yeah.
But they're not going to leave y'all hanging. So
No.
I thought that was really cool that
yeah,
they had
and the
those
regular stuff
prepackaged
was
things.
open, and you could eat
Right.
that. Like I feel like the parks. I feel maybe Magic Kingdom did close at 3. Like between 2, you had until 3 to get out.
Yeah.
But maybe they started shutting rides down at 2 and you were leaving. And it kind of resembled, if anybody remembers the videos of the last night that it was open when COVID shut everything down,
yeah.
and the cast members were all out there waving. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
out there waving, telling everybody, bye.
Yay.
We need to go inside too.
Yeah.
And so you got back to the resort. They had characters at the resort, a lot of activities. The folks that were with us had little, so they actually were up there because the hurricane did not hit the
Till that
resort
evening,
until like
right?
in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You could hear it like 2:00 in the morning,
Yeah.
3:00 in the morning. And so, so there was food and we got our
Dance
showers.
parties they'd bring in characters.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney goes all out to make sure you're still having a magical experience. Like they'll have cast members stay overnight at the
Yes.
resorts.
There were
to
enough
make
cast members
sure-
there, and you were on curfew. So I think it was, probably 10 or 11
Yeah.
based on the hours that the hurricane was coming.
Right.
And so everything was there in lockdown. We did get gas that night.
Yeah,
And
smart.
that was the big thing. Like we were trying to decide. I decided one of Katie was with me.
Yeah.
And so I had already said the other family, I'm like, you guys do what you need to do. And if you want to try to drive
Leave,
home
yeah.
and leave early, that's fine. You go ahead. But like I knew with the interstates, my brother lives in Florida.
It's terrible.
And it's terrible and you can't get gas
Yeah.
and it's all that. The only place that had gas was on property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like if you stepped off property, like there wasn't any
It was
gas.
out, yeah.
Because the first couple places they went, and then they actually found it at one of the speedways,
Yikes.
like on property. So you stayed in. I could hear it. We were at All Star Music. You could hear it. We were kind of, for anybody that has stayed at those value resorts, where it kind of makes an L. So there's like trees in this right here, and then the parking lots out here. And the parking lots, the only thing I was really worried about was our car.
Yeah.
Because they flood. Disney floods.
Yeah.
It's in a flood zone. But there's a lot of drains.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
the water dissipates very
Yep.
quickly once the rain stops. But I was, a little bit worried that, the car might get flooded.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was the only thing I was worried. And we moved it because there's little hills in the little parking lot. So
Smart.
we had moved it up
More
on just a
elevated area.
little spot where it was kind of.
Everyone's fighting
Yeah.
for the hillier spot.
But then we were just in, and then the next morning you were in until they got the TV with the little alerts on there and in
Yeah.
the room. And I think we were allowed out at 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't stop you from getting out walking around.
Right.
But nothing was open until that. And, they took very good care of us. That day, when they mean the parks aren't going to open, that was sad because, it was pretty okay, but they had to put it back together.
Right.
I mean, you could look at the pool areas
Safety
and stuff had
protocols,
moved.
cleaning
and
everything
They
up.
got to get the employees back because they
Yeah.
were sheltering in place and all of that. So, we used that day to walk around all the value resorts and, the cafeterias were back open again,
Yeah.
the food courts, and you could eat there.
And they brought characters out.
Characters
right?
came back. Yeah,
Yeah.
characters came back from, you could mill around. We went to all the gift shops and walked. And then we were leaving the next day. I did not want to leave the next day and considered as I always do, just staying again. But I literally, from that trip, I had to leave on a work trip on Sunday
Yeah.
and came home on a Friday. And then all of the junk that was in the air, I ended up sick. So I was in bed all day, got home Friday night, and then was in bed all day Saturday
Yeah.
to drive where the hurricane
Had just
had
come through.
decimated up there in North Carolina and all
Yeah.
of that. We had to drive through that, and all the roads were shut down
Yeah.
because we were going to Virginia. So we had to go around all of that. So it ended up being exciting the next week because of hurricane.
You had a lot of.
But that's work.
A lot of
You just
hurricane
have to
aftermath.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good. In all of those years, we've been a ton in October.
Yeah.
And I've only been there during one.
Yeah. More often than not, Central Florida is not as likely to be as affected as your beaches or your coasts. That's more often where your hurricanes are going to go. Central Florida, a lot of time will get the rain
Yeah.
or windy, just
And
not
I
as
will
great
say-
weather.
That whole week, yeah, it was the wettest,
Yeah.
minus that December a few years ago when it was wet and cold and had nothing to do with a hurricane.
It's just winter in Florida.
It was just terrible. But this was wet.
Yeah.
Like Sunday, it had rained while we were at Epcot.
Yeah, because you get the bands. Even
Yes.
if the hurricane isn't directly hitting, if it's just on the coast, you
Yep.
might still get the bands. You might.
And
still
for
get
anybody
some of
that's
the
been watching,
storms.
this week, we're filming the week of the 5th of October. So the
Yeah.
past week, there's been a lot of rain in Central Florida because of all the hurricane
Yeah,
mess
there's a
that's
lot.
out in the
There's been
Atlantic.
a lot out in the Atlantic this season, and So far, none of it has come ashore,
No.
which I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a couple more weeks because fall break is here and I need all my family to get through safe.
That's right.
But
Couple more weeks.
it's been like you just never know. Like last year,
No.
there were like back-to-back hurricanes that hit. Sometimes you have nothing. Sometimes our first year that we lived in Florida, there were I think 8 hurricanes that came through, and I think 2 or 3 of them cut across central Florida, like where we lived, and it was kind of like we joked it was like our welcome to Florida.
Yeah. Well, of course, that hurricane that hit last October, it actually came in from the Gulf, and it came across. My brother lives down in Bradenton.
Yeah,
and
They
they
got
got hit
bad.
pretty bad. Yeah, they evacuated. He was like asking, "Are you evacuating?" And I'm like, "No, I'm
Just chilling.
I'm just gonna stay here in Orlando
Because really,
I feel fine."
Yeah, being in the center, it's not going to be as bad.
Yeah.
What did hurricane days mean for you guys when you were growing up in Florida? In Orlando?
Hurricane days for locals are a lot less scary than for the tourists. So you have if you live Midwest, you get snow days when it snows.
Yeah.
When you live in Florida and there's a hurricane coming through, the schools have to shut down for safety reasons. So they were what we called hurricane days. And typically, like I said, Central Florida didn't get a lot that came directly across from it. But if there was one that was coming near the vicinity, a lot of times they would cancel school. But it would be like beautiful outside.
Yes.
So hurricane day meant
Hurricane days for us meant we're
Fun.
going to the parks.
Yeah.
Park days.
Because also a lot of the tourists would stay in because they were scared or people would cancel their trips, whatever. And so those would be like the least crowded days that we would go. And we would just walk on all the
So
rides.
99% of the time, hurricane days in Orlando ended up being
Fun
kind of
days.
wet park days.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because sometimes you would get a little bit of rain, but you were fine with it. And other days, like you'd be like, "What hurricane?"
Yeah.
But we had the day off from school, so we'd go to the
Well, I'm
parks.
gonna say
so
that day
it's a little
that,
different.
This time was not the case.
The
Yeah, this is
hurricane
not the
day
case.
that we were walking around, like it was weird because you're in the Magic Kingdom and it's listen, I've done a lot of parties. I've been during all times of the year, and I don't think there's really a low season at Disney anymore.
Yeah.
Where you're not, but like I'm walking through there, they're like, and there's like nobody, and you're going, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And of course it's raining and the wind, like I've got a cap on and got a raincoat, and it would. Comparing that to the December where it was cold and rainy, but like there was still a lot
crowded.
of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was cold. I wasn't cold. I was just wet. But then there's like no people, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is like
I'm
really
doing so
cool.
much.
Yeah, like of course, you're walking with somebody, and you're going, what? What'd you say?
Yeah.
Because you can't hear because
Yeah.
I mean it was that much wind.
Yeah. We typically wouldn't go if there was actually like a big hurricane like coming through. It was really only if it was a tropical storm or it was hitting the coast but not quite us, and we would go. But I fondly remember hurricane days, whereas I know people on the coast probably don't fondly remember anything with the word hurricane in it. So
I rode Tron at like 150.
yeah.
And the park was about to close. So, and
like,
all
"Let's
that
go."
wind, and I'm like, woo, let's go.
The wind was at your back when you were on the
That's
motorcycle.
right. That's right.
This one
Making
feels
it go
faster this
faster.
time.
Faster, yes. And got wet on Seven Dwarfs. So I mean,
Yeah.
But I mean, again, but the most important things are be kind to the cast members.
They live there too. Like they're
They're
having
living
to
there.
prep for a natural disaster as well.
and they're at work.
Yeah.
So as a nurse, like I feel that because like a lot of hospitals, like in Florida, when those hurricanes happen, those nurses, those they can't
still
go
gotta
home.
go to
There
work.
have to be people there to take care of you when the badness happens. So it's the same with the parks, except for I mean that's all fun. I get it, but there's the people are here. People spend thousands of dollars to go to Disney. It isn't even if they take out the vacation insurance. It's a lot to cancel and to rebook and to do all that work over again. And so I think a lot of people are just not willing anymore. I'm going.
Yeah.
My husband was not a fan.
Yeah.
He was not a fan.
I'm sitting over here being like, you know how many hurricanes I lived through in Central Florida? You'll be fine. And he was probably like, Jordan, shush.
Yeah. He was like,
It's okay.
really?
It's
like,
fun.
Again? I'm like, it's fine. It's going to be fine. Like, it's like, I don't know. I've been on mission trips for church before, and you think about something bad happening, and I'm like, I'm working for Jesus. So, like, if you're going to die, I got to think this is the way to go, right? You're working for the Lord. So
you're like,
and
if
second to that is,
and second to that,
being
I
at
gotta
Disney,
die,
being
I'm
at
at Disney.
Yeah.
might as well be on Tron.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
I will say, if you're consider planning a trip for the fall, like, I'm not trying to scare you away from it. Like you said,
I go all the
rarely
time.
happened.
Yeah.
It's still a good time to go.
And
now-
the price is not cheap.
Yeah.
Think about that. It's not a bad time to go, even though it's hurricane season, when you look at the cost.
Yeah, it's
So,
so
like, when you look
popular.
at going, September
Yeah.
is probably the only, August and September are the cheapest months probably to go, right?
Yeah.
And it's not because of hurricanes. It's because
just
it's
school's back.
hot.
It's
Heating school's
hot.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heating school's back, and people are getting ready for their fall and Christmas plans.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, you've definitely got a couple options if you're planning on going. I would say, as a travel agent, we usually always highly suggest travel insurance because you just never know what's going to happen, and sometimes trips cost
And
a lot of money.
smart people
And some
take
trips,
that out.
like, you have to consider. I don't always do it myself for a Disney trip, but whenever I have families that want to plan every year it happens, fall break's coming up, and I get my cruisers, my beach goers, and my Disney goers, and I'm like, I always highly suggest it, but that is the one time that I will very highly suggest the
however,
travel insurance.
can I add here that a cruise is also a great place to be during a hurricane because
Yeah.
they are so in the know about the hurricane paths that they will just sail around.
Yeah,
them.
9 times out of 10, your
The
cruise.
one issue with it.
Yeah, your cruise is just going to reschedule. Like, they're going to reroute.
Yeah.
You
may not get to go where you thought you were going.
Your ship is 9 times out of 10 going to sail.
It's
The only time you
take
run it,
off the sailing day.
the
or
only
coming
time you
back.
run into a problem, which happened last October because it did directly impact Tampa and Port Canaveral, I think, were the two cruise ports. If your cruise port gets damaged and they can't get ships in or out, if you're out on a cruise, you're getting extended, but you're Gucci. Like, you're getting free food, free extra days. Like, you are going to be fine. You're not going to be like stranded.
And
they
they
got
knew
you.
that there was a hurricane,
They
so
knew.
they took extra food.
Yes.
It wasn't
they
a
also
surprise.
have ways to get extra food.
You're
They're
not
like,
going to notice it
you're-
other than
you're
getting
gonna
an
have a
extra
great
day
time
on your cruise.
I had some clients last year that got a couple extra days and they had the best time.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a upcoming cruise
And
and,
you're
they can't
sitting
get
there
the
at the
ship
port.
back, that's the only time that your cruise is really going to be affected. And in that scenario, your cruise ships are they're going to refund you. They'll reschedule you. You'll be fine. So cruises are also still a good option for
Yeah.
that time because
Well, I
they're
think
not going to
Courtney-
get affected.
Producer Courtney, wasn't your boss out on a cruise last year
Yes.
during that hurricane? And they
Yeah,
got extended
they
for
did.
several days.
I think it was a couple days they
Yeah.
got extended.
Yeah.
They were on a Disney cruise,
I believe
weren't they?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Michelle, I don't-
I think
There are worse places to be.
I don't know if you
I know.
remember.
Maybe they have a different opinion. I don't know, but
No,
No,
I think
they
he
liked
said
it.
it was great.
yeah.
Michelle, I don't know if you remember, you were about to say something, but Jordan had just said that, her big three are cruisers, Disney, and beachgoers right at this time of season. And then I think you were about to say something. I don't know if you remember what that was.
No, I think, just that, those are the things. But, like, I had a beach trip, right? So that was impacted.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't go to the beach because you will get, like, the beach, if you're evacuated, you're leaving.
Yeah.
So that to me is no good. And then, but like Disney's, and then the cruises, and I think you're okay. And I think that, like I said, about the travel insurance, really, like, I just canceled a trip to DC, was going to go and had to change plans. And I took out the insurance on all the excursions that we were going to do, the tours while we were there, and got all my money back.
Yep.
So even I even do that
Yeah.
when I know there's a risk.
Right.
Disney's rules are really the only reason, and if they ever
Yeah.
change them, then I'll have to
Yeah.
take the trip insurance.
Because here's the thing. So with your Disney vacation, they do have the travel insurance, which you can add on. If you've got the travel insurance, you can cancel, get your money back. Even if you're mid-trip, something happens, you have to go home, you can get your money back for the remainder of the trip. It's a great thing to have. With the hurricanes, there are a couple different rules here, though. So in y'all's scenario, what ended up happening was Disney did shut down.
Yep.
If Disney shuts down, they're going to refund you, period.
Anyway.
There's that, I mean, they have to. It's a natural disaster, whatever. So if you get an actual hurricane coming through and you stick it out and Disney says we're closing, they typically have a window of if you're checking in from here to here and you want to cancel your trip, we're going to refund you.
Yeah.
It's great, blah, blah, blah. And you're set. You're fine.
And ours was, and that was on the table for us
Yes.
a year ago.
Yep. There's other scenarios like what you guys did was you just chose to push your tickets out. You didn't want to get the refund. You just decided, we're going to come back anyways. You come and visit enough. You just extended your ticket so they can do stuff like that. The tricky part is if you don't have travel insurance and you stick it out and Disney does not have to shut down. Like the hurricane doesn't end up coming through, but you decided, I don't know if I want to risk it, so I'm going to cancel, and you don't have travel insurance and Disney doesn't shut down.
Yep.
That's where it's going to get tricky. They still are Disney is very nice where they're flexible with you can change the dates. Sometimes,
Right.
there are kind of ways around it, but Disney's not going to give you a refund if they don't have to give you a refund.
Right. And that was the reason behind
Choosing to go.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
So early. So
Yeah.
with other family, I'm like, I'm staying
Mm-hmm.
because it's the same thing if you've ever been in line at Disney and the ride shuts down.
Yeah.
You'll see tons of people are like, oh, the ride shut down.
Get
I'm out of
out.
here. I got to get out of this
Yeah.
line and go get in another line. And I'm always like to everybody that's with me, just wait. Just stand right here. It's going to be worth it. Just stand here. And sometimes I even start going, is it really worth it?
Right.
I have been standing there and almost changed my mind and thought, no,
Yeah.
I'm vested. So now I'm staying. Because they're going to give you a lightning lane for
Yeah.
a ride equal of that or lesser value.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to walk away with a lightning lane to use however I want to for this ride or another ride that I want to go ride then. Same thing with this. I knew what my options were because I go
Yeah.
all the time. So I felt like it was a good gamble to just stay, knowing that they were going to have to do something for my ticket the day they were shut down.
Oh, yeah.
They were not going to have to do anything for my ticket the next day.
Yeah.
Like just because I didn't use it, that's not their problem.
Yeah.
So it was, you had to kind of play with it. And,
Yep.
and I kept, okay, when you go to the window and you're at guest services and you're taking care of stuff like that, most of the time they're going to end up writing some stuff down for you on an index card.
Keep that.
And let me just say, don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because I had that and I kept it in my little Mickey Lululemon bag. And so when I went in March to use those days, we had a whole hiccup where when we went through and tapped in with our magic bands to get in the park, it pulled the wrong days.
Yeah.
So there was kind of this problem because I had to add another day of ticket. So I had that and went easily back to guest services.
Yeah.
And he did kind of look a little shocked that I was like, oh no,
I have this.
here this is. We're not going to have to
He's
argue
like,
about it.
no one ever keeps
Yeah, I
these.
don't got to get mad at you
Yay.
today because I
Yeah.
have what I'm supposed to have. So
Yeah.
here you go. And he was like, oh, this is good. I was like, yes. So you just fix it and
Yeah.
we'll be good. So keep whatever they give you
Yes.
because everything's digital now.
Yeah.
And you want to hang on to it.
Yeah. And here's another little tidbit, not trying to push booking through an agent or booking directly through Disney. But here's your other thing. If you're going in the fall or really any time that something could go wrong, which really any time, but if you're using a third party discount company, don't use them for hurricane season because at that point, yes, those are valid Disney tickets. That may be a valid Disney hotel reservation, but Disney has nothing to do with any, at that point, Disney is not involved in your transaction, all of this stuff. And I heard so many horror stories from people that had gone through third-party companies that did not get refunded.
Yeah.
Period. Because Disney's like, that's not ours. Like, yes, it's admission to us, but we didn't sell it to you. That's not through our transaction.
Yep.
Whatever. And we cannot get you a discount. So if you were going to book during a riskier season, maybe you see a discounted price and it's very tempting. But just know that if and Disney, like, they had to shut down, but they still couldn't do anything about those tickets.
No. And then the other thing is about the look, as someone who's had not a ton of issues with travel, but I've been very happy the few times that I have been traveling that I did have a crisis because I had someone that I could call.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as they're not on vacation themselves. But I
Even
had
then,
one
we'll
time.
hop on those
Oh,
phone
you
calls.
can still call her.
Yeah.
But I had one time, and it was before Jordan. I had another travel planner, and it was right after COVID. It was 2021, and that's when the pilots decided that they were not going to fly planes. But they kind of all decided at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a bad time. And when I was at the airport after I had checked in, so I had a whole problem where I had to drive to Florida. But anyhow, I had help there.
Yep.
And they reached out to Disney. We ended up getting pixie dusted, but we were going to get pixie dusted anyway.
Yeah.
That was one of those situations where we'd been upgraded.
They
We
had
just didn't
pre-pixie
know
dusted you.
we were upgraded. Because I had a night, and they luckily cut me a deal on that, and didn't charge me full price because it was a Lion King suite.
Yeah.
But then March, I had the whole travel problem where I got a flight delayed that caused me to miss another flight, and you were able to help me book a hotel room. So there's always a good reason to have one.
Yeah.
Especially, look, everybody can cut corners, and it's easy to cut corners when you're trying to save yourself some money. But when you use a travel plan, it's not costing you anything. Disney's taking care of that. They love travel planners. So it doesn't cost you anything. So why wouldn't you want one?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a reason not to. Now, if you've got a bad one, switch. Jordan's really good. And there's some bad ones. Just saying. But if you've got a good one, fine. If you need one, Jordan's available. And if you have a bad one, you need to get out of that, because I have heard horror stories of some bad travel planners where, they don't help like they're supposed to, or they booked it, and once they booked it, you
Never
can't
heard
ever
from
get them
them.
to reply.
Yeah.
They're never talking to you again. And then as someone who's used the third party site for a hotel during Daytona, of which I did not put it on. I'm not a race fan. If you're a race fan, I think that's glorious. Please go to the races. It's not for me. And I did not know that I was going to Cocoa Beach
During Daytona.
during Daytona, and I got bumped because Hilton can do that. Because I didn't book through Hilton, I got bumped.
Yeah.
Now I've been a diamond member with Hilton, and I'm not getting
You don't
bumped,
get
but I
bumped
can bump
anymore.
you. But so yeah, and there was nothing. Hilton was really good about trying to help us find a hotel and not sleep in our car.
Right. But it was still not a great
But it
scenario.
wasn't a great time.
And there are times you can book through third party and things turn out fine. I understand wanting to save money,
Sure.
all those things, but it's just be careful if you know this is a hurricane season, maybe it's not worth potentially losing
Thousands of
of
dollars.
dollars.
Yeah,
So, just wanted to throw that out there because that was a big issue last year with it being one of the actual times that, people weren't
Overall,
getting their money back.
I'm
so.
going to rate going to Disney during a hurricane. I mean, a good 9 out of 10. The only reason it wasn't a 10 is because the park shut down.
Right.
That was
11
it.
out of 10 if the park doesn't shut down.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I
Crowds
mean, I had to
agree.
go to my room.
Yeah.
Had a
But
little
you created
box
some cool
lunch.
memories even doing that.
Oh, I love the whole
It's,
thing.
it's a unique
For me,
situation
yeah.
that stands out.
Yeah, for me, it's like bucket list. Been at Disney during a hurricane.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep your eye on the weather, follow the right weatherman as well. I can't remember his name now, but there's one guy out of Tampa who's very great about not creating panic He
Yeah.
has a thing called rule number 7, and it's don't panic unless he's panicking.
Yeah.
He's very fun, but a lot of times media will overhype stuff. Find a reliable source to follow.
Yeah.
A lot of times hurricanes can change directions right up until the day of. So you just got to be flexible if you're going to go during hurricane season.
Is it Dennis Phillips?
Yes, Dennis Phillips.
That's a suggestion.
Shout out to Dennis Phillips. He's
Follow
my
him.
fave to follow.
Yeah.
He'll get you accurate information and not over panic you. But just keep an eye on your weather. Know anything can change at any minute. Be prepared to pivot, as
Yeah.
with all trips.
Yeah.
But overall, you're probably going to be okay. Disney's a good place to get stuck if you decide to go. But if not, just know your options. Travel insurance,
Yeah.
agent, however you want to do it. Just make sure that you are extra planned for the potential of a hurricane.
Fall break around here is next week, and if I was
Yep.
available for a vacation,
You'd be
I would
going.
go. I would go and just be happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't control it anyway.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you really don't know if it's going to hit or not. It can be a great time. I will say this: October, hence it is hurricane season. October is one of the hotter
Hot.
months. You think it's August? You think, well, I've been in July. It's really hot. But really, I've been in there in October when it's
It
just
can
as
be
hot
just as bad.
and humid
Yeah.
as it was in July.
And rainy.
And rainy. Exactly. You put all
So
that
it-
together,
Could be all the above.
it's like you rode Tiana's and a tidal wave hit you.
Yeah.
But you walked out of
But
your
you
room.
just,
Just walked
it's
out of your
just
room to the
walking out of your
bus.
room.
To the bus. So yeah, go have a good time. Be safe.
Yes.
Obviously,
Just be safe.
listen,
Yep.
I'm all about having
Be
fun.
smart.
Be smart. We followed all the rules.
Follow
when
the
they told us to
protocols.
be in our room, we were
Yeah.
in our room.
Don't be a dummy. Don't
Yeah.
run out in the middle of the hurricane.
No. Don't be crazy because a tree can fall on you. And
Be nice to Disney employees and cast members, and just take care of yourselves if you do decide to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do want to do a real quick survey. Obviously, you would go during a hurricane again. I would go during
Absolutely.
a hurricane because I'm a Florida kid. Producer Logan, would you go during a hurricane?
Yeah, I'll go whenever,
Yeah,
except maybe August or September.
maybe we're crazy. I don't
No.
know.
no,
Hot.
you'll go in August
Producer
or
Courtney,
September.
would you go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would go.
Yeah.
Like I said to Michelle, so I'm the type of person that, like, when there's a tornado outside or a bad storm,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going to
this
go to the
stresses
window
me
and
out.
look at it. I'm not going to hide in a
I'm
closet.
like, get in the closet.
if you tell me there's a hurricane and this is going to be a unique situation where I can create some fun memories, I'm not going to go out in the hurricane. But, like, being stranded in the room just sounds like it could be fun in a weird way. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, to me,
Mom, during a tornado, is going to go outside
Yeah.
and look up.
yeah.
There was
The
a
sky
that
trying to
December,
get
a couple,
storm
that
watch
December
together.
a couple years ago that it was really wet and rainy.
Me and Courtney will be in
In
the
Florida,
closet with the dogs.
There
In
was
the basement in the closet.
yeah.
there was a tornado going over Studio 2, and I was out back, and I was like, I think I could reach up and just touch the tail. It's like right there.
Take a picture with it like the Leaning Tower
Yeah.
of Pisa. Look,
Here
I'm
it
holding the
goes.
tornado.
There's the tornado.
I don't mess
Yeah.
with tornadoes. I'll
No,
mess with a
I
hurricane,
would
but I'm not
absolutely
messing
go
with a
to
tornado.
Disney if there's. I was gonna say, the moral of the story here to me is don't cancel out of fear. Like, find out some more information
Yeah.
about it. But at the end of the day, Central Florida, if you can get there, or if you're already there, especially, don't cancel and run away. Like, you might be in the best spot rather than trying to drive
Safest
and
spot.
get gas or
Yeah.
fly and you
Get
stuck
stranded.
at the airport. Just stay.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would definitely go.
Yeah, 'cause
during-
by the
during a
time we-
hurricane.
So the hurricane hit in the middle of
Possibility.
the night, early Thursday morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parks were closed on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday morning, we're up and sadly leaving. Everybody else was going to the parks. They did delay opening just a little
Yeah.
bit. Met some great people as we were walking around that
Mm-hmm.
had gotten in like on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now the hurricane's hitting, their trip, and they'd extended their trip out, the first couple of days of the next week,
Yeah.
watching what was happening and knowing what was. So I think there's just that. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're driving or even flying, I might throw a couple little small games maybe
Yeah.
in my bag or something. But I
And
don't
some
even think
entertainment.
Disney has all the generators and all. We didn't
Yeah.
even lose power.
Yeah.
Like,
And most
we
of
may have
Orlando-
lost
yeah.
power, but we had the generators and the TV still worked
Yeah.
and the lights
I remember
were
seeing
working.
reports of other areas in Central Florida being without power, and I texted you to see like how you guys are doing. You're like, we got power, we got TV,
We're
we got.
We're
We're
good.
good.
I'm watching Happily Ever After on
Right.
the television right now. It's a really good time. Yeah. So, yeah, I think just go, do you,
Yeah.
but be safe.
Yep. Be safe, be informed, but ultimately, Disney's got your back. So, there you have it.
There you go.
Whether you want it or not, there's some hurricane info for a
There
Disney
you
trip.
go. That's it. Somebody's going.
Yes.
Somebody's going this month.
Yeah.
It'll help you out.
Hopefully the hurricanes stay away this year. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens as the rest of the season goes on. Obviously, we can get it all the way up through November 30th. So
There you go.
good luck to everybody traveling this fall. And if you guys, as always, ever have any questions or just want to know information about things, feel free to reach out to us. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on all of the things. We appreciate all the follows and you guys hanging out with us. So that's it for this one. But we will see you guys next time on To the Magic and Beyond.